opening move. 1, D2, D4 in the game of Arena, Crush versus Begum. And
Abhimanyu Mishra and Fabiano Caruana, we don't see French.
No
no
French.
French. We talked about
Typical Najdorf, and we see the bishop to b5 check.
variation.
Variation, not knight d7, but bishop to a d7, which is a little bit, not necessarily less challenging, but more peaceful option from Black's side. And knight to c3, it feels like maybe bishop to d7 was a bit of a surprise for Fabiano.
Bishop d7, Mishra saying, what are you doing? You want to trade pieces with this bishop and help me develop. So why is that in your favor? And Fabi says, it's not in my favor. I'll play c2, c4.
We can trade on my terms.
On my terms, but is this a trade that is good for white? I mean, after all, after the trade, I mean, it's white's pawn structure that gets compromised. I mean, it's a double pawn after all. And you lose a little bit of central control now that you've traded.
Right, but the pawn is also controlling some really important squares.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. It does control the square c6, which is a natural square for my knight. So if I were to continue with the move a7, a6,
knight c3.
knight c3.
Again, if you want to trade, I'm happy to improve my knight as well.
Exactly. So your knight is out here. I don't know. Is it why
Queen e2.
Queen e2? Yes, Queen e2. And why is the knight so happy? I don't know. It feels like you've traded a c pawn, which I think is a pretty good pawn, for an a pawn, and I don't know. I've got a rook on the open file. You know how all that works.
Right, but I think I may be very fast with my development. Let's say I castle here.
Good move, castles, and I don't know. Let's say I go e5
If
or
you don't
e6.
go e5, I'm going to go d4 immediately.
Okay, you got me then. I could have committed myself earlier, but same thing. And you know, we're playing our own little game here, but I'm just the bottom line is what I'm asking is, would you feel happy about this trade of a c pawn for an a pawn? Good.
Usually not, but I know some variations in, for example, checkover variation where you Sicilian, but you recapture with queen on d4, and sometimes you do play c4 and you keep that bishop on b5. So I have some experience recapturing on b5 with that pawn, and that pawn can be very strong.
Coach, drill down for us on this one because I'm a little bit confused. What would happen in case of the players following our analysis with Kate that we just had?
It's definitely a playable option for a black. The problem is after a6,
How do you not realize it? You're in a threefold
And
repetition.
you have 10 minutes, right? It wasn't
Right.
like
You can claim it, and if you're wrong, your arbiter's going to award your opponent an extra 2 minutes.
but you have a lot of
Big
time
deal.
to check your score sheet. I feel like
Exactly.
she was just trusting her position that Irina is going to repeat again, or maybe she wanted her to risk.
She got greedy, yes, yes. I think that was just her getting greedy, thinking that maybe she will be able to win that.
So at last,
Fabi
Fabi
is
has
taking
given
that
up
knight.
his exchange, and he is about to play g6 and escort his pawn up the board with the king. And
that.
Mishra still playing. I'm
Fighting.
a little surprised there.
Fighting on. G7.
Fabi just checking if he can move that pawn.
King g5. Nope.
H5.
Couldn't guess. King g5 centralization.
And a handshake.
And there we have it, handshake. Our congratulations to the defending champion, Fabiano.
Back-to-back champion, incredible performance,
Very impressive.
and the winner of the Open